Podcast.
All right. Dude, did you hear about O.J. Simpson? Just real
But
quick.
he's not Jewish.
Well, he's not alive either.
Yeah, I heard.
It's pretty wild. I mean, his time was coming. I'm surprised it didn't happen sooner. What I found interesting, though, is there's like an old news reporter that was covering the story back in the day, and he found an interview with one of the jury people that was on the jury. I guess it's come out that there's a connection between O.J. Simpson and the Rodney King case. And, like, I wasn't too familiar about it, so I kind of got some cliff notes on it. And the Rodney King case was about basically Rodney King getting the shit beat out of him for being black and being profiled. And then that cop got off on it. They said the cop was in the right. He didn't get whatever. He didn't get arrested or thrown in jail like, the dude in Minnesota. But what they were saying is they were asked, so when it came to OJ, was there any connection with Rodney King? And this lady said, yeah. And they're like, was it like payback? And she said, yeah. About 90% of the jurors felt this way. Basically, they let O.J. Simpson get away with murder because that white cop got away with murder. Which is that's fucking race wars at its finest, people.
Yeah.
With that said, welcome to episode 71 of Tell It Right Podcast. I'm Mike. That's Jared. And we're getting into some fucking shit tonight. Nothing to do with, what's his face? OJ. Rest in peace, OJ. We're done with you now. It's time for business. So if you've been following Tell It Right Podcast for a bit, you've caught a few episodes where Jared tears into me for not fucking watching Aliens, or the movie Aliens
Any
3.
of them, in general.
Any of them, Resurrection,
Yeah.
Prometheus, and so forth. Well, guess what, everybody? I finally did that. I finally took the plunge, and I've watched the entire Aliens franchise. I now have skin in the game for the Aliens franchise.
I mean,
So let's get into it.
It's not foreskin, that's for sure. Not foreskin.
No, it's not. That was taken away about 36 years ago.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, well.
Fuck you, Mom and Dad. That was mine. You had no right to get rid of that.
I'm telling you, somebody's got some eyelids.
Somebody's got some eyelids, for sure. I mean, it is what it is. All right, so let's get into it, man. So I was on Disney Plus. That's like where I find all my Hulu shit nowadays because of the merger. And I discovered that Alien, and then like pretty much the rest of them were available on Disney. So I got into it, and oh man, it's a fucking wild movie. I just want to get out there and say, like, it's actually, like, from everything I've seen, I think it's a great storyline. I'm trying to think. I think there was one that was just like, I want to say it was, what's the one where the Aliens 3? I thought that one was dumb.
That one was weird. That's for sure.
Yeah. But the rest of them, I thought were pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So,
my least favorite is actually Resurrection.
Oh, with Winona?
I think that one was, like, if you were to classify each movie, one, Alien was a horror movie, right? It was scary. And,
right.
The second one was an action movie. The third one was, I don't know. It had a weird vibe to it. It was still kind of like a horror movie, I guess you could say, but the
But it was mainstream by
yeah,
then, and so like
yeah, and then
I felt like it was that Indiana Jones where he had like he didn't have the original chick, he had the other chick.
yeah,
You remember that
yeah,
one?
yeah, yeah. It was like that.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt about 3.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then
it's just like
Resurrection, I think, was kind of, I don't know. It was like that one was definitely commercialized. It was kind of a money grab thing. Let's throw a bunch of famous people in it and see what we can't. We'll just make a weird, fucking, really futuristic. 'Cause that one's supposed to be set like what 200 or 300 years past Alien 3, I think, something crazy like that.
oh really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. Because they're because Winona was the. Let me adjust my sound here. I'm probably a little loud. Um, Winona, she was the synth,
Yeah,
right, or the AI.
yeah, yeah. And she was like, "Oh, you've been dead for who knows how many years," because they were cloning shit out in the middle,
Yeah,
wherever.
they're doing a bunch of David shit
Yeah.
right there. That's what David would have done.
So that movie
Prometheus.
was like, and it had some like comedy shit to it. I didn't really care. That's probably like my least favorite one, other than the fact that
Even with Ron
I was going to say,
Perlman.
other than the fact that it has Ron Perlman in it. Like, can't go wrong with Ron. But I don't know, the
Yeah.
acting in that kind of sucked. It was very like, that one you could tell was like filmed in Britain. Like there's ways you can tell like that certain movies are filmed in certain places. Like Alien is actually a very
Yeah.
I think all of the franchise was filmed in England or Europe
The entire
or Europe or
franchise
something. I know Alien was.
makes sense.
I have a feeling that Resurrection was. And I have a feeling that Alien 3 was too. I don't know about Aliens. That's a James Cameron. You know how James Cameron does.
Dude, yeah, he's
Yeah.
wild.
So
He's fucking wild.
yeah, I mean it's. But then like for me, so Resurrection was kind of like comedy, whatever, just kind of a blow off. I like Prometheus and
Yeah.
Covenant, but those were kind of, I don't know. They were almost too
That's what
close to the same movie. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
like it didn't progress. It just kind of, I don't know. It told the same tale. They land on a different planet. They find the alien. Blah blah blah, and then it takes over. It wasn't like progressive to the storyline. I don't know.
Yeah. But Ridley Scott did or Ripley
Ridley.
Scott or no
Ridley.
Ridley. No, Ripley's
Yeah.
Ripley's the chick. No Ridley. Yeah, he started I think did I have that listed? Did he
Yeah,
direct?
he did the first movie and then the
Yeah.
Prometheus and
In Covenant too, right? He's not doing I know he's not doing the one that's coming out this year. He's
he's
gonna
a producer.
he's like a
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
What I will say is I did notice that the movie's been written by like the same guy, or at least one of the writers is consistent with all of the movies. Dan O'Bannon.
Yeah.
So that's always a good thing, He's a fucking vet. He knows what he's doing, but yeah, I don't know. Aliens 3 was just kind of like,
It wasn't great.
okay, you're on a prison planet. Who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
You're gonna die. You're all gonna die.
Yeah. I think it was creepy as fuck though. Like
Yeah.
the
I didn't watch. I ended up like turning it off. I was like, I'm gonna keep going.
I mean,
I was just like, fuck this
it
one.
wasn't the best one, but like the scary portions of it were pretty freaking scary. Like the thing like running and it would
Yeah.
like run on the ceilings after the people. Because I mean, the whole idea is that the alien kind of takes traits from whatever it's impregnated into, and that one got into the dog,
Oh.
so it ran more like a dog, and it ran around that way.
See, I didn't catch that stuff. That little detail. all I caught was in Covenant that the xenomorphs basically were like originally all organic. So in Prometheus, they were all organic. By the time you got the Covenant, David had like integrated them with machinery or like a mechanical organic being or something. So it's like basically a transformer in a way, but it's not. It doesn't transform into things, but it's got like these appendages that like move like they are kind of like robotic but like organic at the same time. Like it looks like that black sheen makes it look like a metal like and then but it just moves like a fucking scorpion or some shit. I don't even know what the fuck you would call like what is that compared to? It's like they took like the big head alien with the small eyes and the small mouth and then they just like fucking stretched it backwards or something. They're like, we're gonna give this guy a fucking hammerhead.
Well,
he's gonna fucking hammer shit in.
Even creepier. So like in the first movie they call him Big Chap. That's the nickname for the alien in that movie. It was just a giant, big, like super tall, skinny, weird thing that would just kind of creep around. The second one, they were more beastly, if you will. But if you look at it, like the designer of the alien in the second movie, and you can see it in some of the models, like you can see through the alien's like outer top of the head, and there's a skull that runs it, but it's got like a human skull face at the very front of it. Because again, it takes over the traits of things that so there's like actually like a human looking face, almost like in the Alien, what's it called, Resurrection, how that humanoid kind of alien came out that was birthed. It almost has that type of face where it's like that like skeleton nose, like pig nose thing, but it's underneath that banana head. Yeah, it's creepy as fuck. But you can't see it unless you see like certain portions of it in light. But let's go over each movie, break them down. Now that we
let's get to Alien. 79 or 78. I have 9 written down, but I think it's 78.
Yeah, it might be
78. No, it's 79. No, I wrote 78. I'm retarded. Everybody, so you know I'm retarded.
So this is coming out around the same time frame as Star Wars. Imagine you see Star Wars.
Yeah.
This, this is pretty good.
It's like,
I mean, for
family version. Hey man, if you want some good sci-fi, go check out Star Wars, man. It's pretty good. But man, if you want the shit that's gonna make you fucking like crap your pants, see this new movie by Ridley Scott called Alien. I'm telling you, you won't sleep for fucking days, bro.
Well, so it rolls out like the beginning of the movie's almost like what was that? The Space Odyssey.
Space Odyssey.
Yes.
I love that. Yeah, that's what I love about this movie actually is it has that Space Odyssey like creepy vibe to it, that quietness. Just like you hear the tapping of the feet on the ship, right? And there's just like really no other dialogue or any sounds. It's just like this bland fucking like somebody just doing their fucking job on a spaceship, you know? It's interesting. Yeah. And then it really builds up to it because it just like everything seems fine. Like I think a good scene is right when they get out of the pods and they're all fucking sitting there just eating breakfast or whatever, you know, out of the Tupperware containers and all the dried out foods, and they're all fucking bullshitting. The one dude's like, I want more fucking money. What about those bonuses, motherfucker? Yeah. And all,
he's all about money.
You're going to get what you're contracted for.
Yeah.
That's by Tom Skerritt, by the way. You're gonna get what you're contracted for.
Yeah.
It's nowhere close.
So yeah, it starts out. It's kind of actually kind of slow at the beginning. Like if you didn't know what you were in for, as far as the movie goes, I would say that that's kind of
They
like
got you.
this is boring as shit. Then they land on the planet because they find a there's like a signal that comes in, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I guess like something that we should bring up is like something that's consistent with all the movies is that all these ships have an AI interface with it. So there's like in this movie it's called Mother. Wasn't the other movie, wasn't it called Father or something like that?
I don't know.
But even back to it, like Mother, like there, it's that name is significant throughout this whole entire
Yeah,
franchise because it gets to like with these beings and all that, and like who they are and how they operate. Like they do speak to a queen or something, right? We'll find out. But like, yeah, Mother though is the one who stopped the mission to go back, or so they were on their way back to Earth, and they had a fucking payload of something, and so Mother stopped it halfway because she detected this like SOS
yeah,
thing, and so. But then the company has this thing in their writing in part of the contract that, hey, there's like a distress beacon or something, you guys have an obligation to check it out.
yeah.
If you don't get paid and all that. So like I think that's really interesting. It's almost like to me like I feel like the AI in this movie is behind everything too. And that's why like when Prometheus and Covenant come out or when they came out or actually well I saw those first or I saw Prometheus first, but once I saw this I started like kind of connecting the dots like it's like it's these AIs that keep fucking doing like the craziest shit and getting these humans. It's like cuz I mean like David in the one movie
Mhm.
was like why should we let these people live? Like why not create a perfect society? And he was just going to create these fucking beasts that would just listen to him
I think a
essentially.
lot of it has to do with the programming too, because there's the corporation that owns all this, which is Wayland Yutani,
Yeah.
and they actually like so they own the ship that Ripley's on in the first movie. They own
Right.
the all the shit that's the operation in the second movie, so on and so forth. Even in the
Mhm.
third movie, they come in and I think Wayland Yutani owns the prison that they're on this planet and shit. So
Mhm.
the when you look into like what Wayland Yutani does, like they do like all kind.
Wait, say the name
It's
again.
Wayland Yutani, or the
Waylon
yeah.
Utani.
So and you'll
Yeah.
see a big W with a Y in it on
Right,
ships.
right.
But so Wayland, it was the guy who created like David and everything. What's his name? And he's in Prometheus,
Yeah.
right? And so there's all kinds of shit. And then once you get past this and actually watch like Alien versus Predator, there's another. It's all reference to Wayland Yutani in there, but I think that's part of like they in the first one there wasn't really the back end of the story to kind of go with it, but the AI, all of it is like when you hear what's his face, the robot guy, when they beat him up and they restarted him and he starts talking about how the company like they made him come with so that he would like force them to go to this planet. Like
Wait, are you talking about Paul Reese and Aliens? Did I miss
no,
something?
in the first movie, right? The
Oh yeah, yeah,
Ash
yeah.
guy that's played by what's his face? Yeah,
Ash. Yeah, by Ian
yeah,
Holmes. Bilbo
yeah.
Baggins.
Dildo Saggins. Uh,
Dildo Saggins. I love that name.
so
Hashtag Dildo Saggins.
he talks about the company in that. Like they say mother, but what they're really doing is getting information from the company. And even in the second movie, that's what happens. Is the company wants they? That's why they send what's his face, Paul. riser with him
Yeah.
because the company, as an investment, they want him to get these aliens.
And that's another element to this movie that I think is pretty good is this mysteriousness of the company.
Yeah.
Like, who is the company? Yeah, it's whatever the name you just said. I can't pronounce it. It's Wayland
Utani.
Wayland Utani,
Yes.
right? So that's the company. But like, who are the people behind it? And we have to assume this is like a big corporation. There's not like one leader. It's just people that have worked there for hundreds of years, sort of deal. Time after time, changeover after changeover. But they're like this mysterious, like, they're like the overseers. You know what I mean? Like, they like know what's going to happen.
It's like
They know what's out
it's like
there.
BlackRock.
They like know. Right. And so, like, it's just like, I don't feel like it's ever been explained in any of the movies, but it's like the company is behind everything. You know what I mean? It's like they know about this, they want this, because then you see in Aliens, Paul Reiser comes out and he's like, "Oh, dude, there's all this biowarfare shit that we can make money off of." It's like, what the fuck are you saying right now, man?
Yeah.
You're just basically saying you want to kill people.
Yeah.
you know. So it's just like that's like another eerie element to it. It's just like you're taking these orders from this faceless being or entity, mother or Wayland UTI or whatever it's called. The Wayland UTI. That's like that's when something jumps out of your fucking chest.
Your pee hole.
By the way. Yeah, out of your pee hole when you got the Wayland UTI.
So yeah, so there's the company, the shadow company, if you will. But an alien, so like I said, it was really slow to get going, but then like, they find the ship and all this and that. The guy gets the thing on his face. And again, it's still even slow then, until the thing dies, falls off his face and dies. That's when the movie actually picks up, and it's probably actually a good 45 minutes into the movie that this happened.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I mean that's kind of like Space Odyssey. Like nothing happens until like an hour into it, and then you're like, oh, this is why I saw the movie. Okay, actually, Space Odyssey is still like after an hour into it, you're like, the fuck is going on? But no, this one, like once that started happening,
it's scary as fuck.
Yeah,
like when the guys in the tunnels and stuff, like close this hatch behind me, or Tom Skerritt, and then when like the one dude's like getting water dripped on his face, and the thing just like comes down, like behind him, like that's scary as fuck. And it wasn't even like
that's another.
Like, it was really good cinematography.
And that's another interesting thing is that whole species like just drenched in like liquid goo all the time. It's like, where the fuck is this coming from?
It's a
like
resin.
It must have pores. It's just fucking excreting like goo constantly, and then if you cut it, it's like fucking acid. That's like another like crazy like idea. Like, I wonder if they were just in a fucking room, just like sitting at a round table, like, so like, how do we want to like make the alien? Oh, dude, let's just give it like acid blood. Like, fuck it, dude, that's scary. All right, man, fuck it, let's do it. We'll have the dude.
The idea was, they had to make the perfect bio weapon, right? It can't.
Yeah.
It wasn't a robot, so then. What are naturally occurring things that would make it dangerous and have good defenses, but also, be able to like attack?
And then make it completely opposite to a human too.
Exactly.
Right.
Maybe there's like a queen, man. He's that shit's big. These ain't ants, man. It's like a beehive, and no, there's like an ant hive. Bees, man. Bees have hive. Anyway.
But no, like, yeah, like, so with at the end of Alien, though, like that was another thing that I thought was like fucking great about the movie. So she ends up getting her cat Jonesy
Mhm.
back to the shuttle, and then they leave, and I'm like sitting there like, nah, it's too good to be true.
Yeah.
Like she barely did anything.
Yeah.
Like they barely fucking fought. She just literally like the thing was looking at or about to eat the cat. She ran around. The thing ran off. She grabbed the cat and then she went on the ship and left. And I'm like, nah, this can't be it. But like at the time, it just seemed like, nah, everything's working out. This movie's about to fucking end, right? And then that motherfucker, dude, burrowed up into the shuttle. She blows up a $1 trillion ship, and this fucker is just in a fucking crevice, just laying there like, I'm gonna get you. Here's my little head. You know.
Yeah.
But then, like, you know what? She fucking did the airlock.
Yeah.
That was her last fight. She's like, no, we're done. I'm getting this suit on. You're going out the airlock, you fucking piece of shit. And he left. And he got burnt up on the way out. And then, like, so I think it's important to touch up on these cryopods. This is a big part of all these movies because this is how they travel and whatnot. But the biopods are like, I don't know if it's like some kind of symbolism or whatever or symbology. um, but like, it's just like every time she gets into that fucking cryo thing, she wakes up in another nightmare.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so okay, so now we've ended aliens. Alien. She says she writes in the log, "Hey, I'm probably gonna be in like human contact in the next 2 weeks, and I'll make it. You know, you guys will get me, and you know, like expecting to be home in like the next month. All right. Okay, we start Aliens 2 now.
Yeah.
50 fucking 7 years later,
Yeah.
she wakes up with the goddamn cat, and now they're like, yeah, bro, it's 57 years later, and we want to know why the fuck you blew up a $1 trillion spacecraft there.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I think so. One of the coolest things, and it's like, so this is where, and you don't think of it, but when directors really pay attention to detail, it really goes a long way. If you look on, at the beginning of Aliens.
By the way, James Cameron movie.
James Cameron.
So this is where detail comes into play.
At first, they're like cutting the door. You can see where the tether from that thing that she shot is still stuck in the door as they're cutting it. Remember, she shot that tether thing at it, like the harpoon.
Oh yeah.
If you look real close, you can see like that rope still jammed in the door from when she shut it. So like,
interesting.
So they cut that, and then they like scan and all that, and that was crazy. And because it was a deep salvage team, I guess, that found her. But
right, and they randomly found her. Randomly.
Yeah.
I'm sure the company knew exactly where she was.
They just let her float.
They know everything.
So she gets out of that. Her daughter's dead because it's been 60 years. Her daughter was already however old. And then
she had a daughter?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I missed that.
Yeah, it's at the. So what might the problem is there's a director's cut of Aliens that's like an extra hour long, and it actually goes.
Yeah.
So if you watch the regular one, they're like, oh yeah, we lost contact with LV-426. There's a colony there. In the director's cut, they actually have like what happened to LV-426 in it, like how it got to that point. So
yeah,
they actually went out and found that same spaceship that was in the first movie, and they were like some salvage team, and they went out there, and one of the guys on the salvage team got a face hugger on him, and then they brought him back, and so then they kept on going, and then the aliens took over. It's kind of crazy.
Fucking wild.
I forgot what.
Yeah.
Hadley's Hope was the name of it. But they shows like there's bars and stuff there, and just you know. Anyway, so she had a daughter. She died. She's called to consult because of what happened to LV-426, which I don't understand. Like I get it, like they want her to consult on it, but she really didn't know anything, anyways. I don't. I think it might have been just to get rid of her, but I don't know.
I mean, we could say that's bad writing, but at the same time, if we just jump into that universe, like how I kind of look at it is like, again, like back to this corporation that has all this information. You know, that's why data's gold, everybody. Like they were telling us in the 80s to not give away our data, and we fucking did it anyways. Yeah. This is what's going to happen. We're going to have a corporation that knows everything, and they're going to even know on the day we die because they're going to send us to our death. So that's, yeah, I personally think there's a higher entity with that, like, you know, this is maybe fan speculation at this point. There's probably nothing in writing about this, but in my opinion, there's an entity within the corporation that, they just, like, they know everything, and they know that she is a risk because, like, one of those things where it's like she might be able to, like, tell people and they might believe her. But, like, already, like, look at what they did to her when she comes back. They dropped her down to, like, the lowest grade job you could have. Yeah. And she was a goddamn pilot. You know what I mean? Like, so already, like, that corporation, like, they weren't showing her, like, respect. They weren't really welcoming her. They were like, you destroyed over $1 billion worth of crap.
So it was like a way of offing.
Yeah, exactly. So now it's like Paul Reiser, so his character in the movie, he's some kind of exec that oversees something, and he wants to make sure that he gets the credit for it. So it's almost like, I think because they caught her, they were able to get some more information, and then I don't know what exactly, but I just know that the corporation ended up colonizing that same planet. And then once they went offline, that's when all of a sudden they wanted to get over there and see what the hell was going on. Well, after the fact, they just pulled her in that's been gone for 57 years.
Well, another thing, too, like when they're on that, Ripley finds out that Burke, who's Paul Reiser's character, ordered them to do a search of that area where they found that ship,
spaceship. Yeah.
So again, in the director's cut, they're like, "Oh yeah, some suit says go do a site survey." We go do a site survey, or we tell them what are we supposed to do, and they're like, it takes 2 weeks for them to get back to us, and their answer is don't ask. So I don't ask. We just go out and do a site survey. So this is the people on Hadley's Hope. So they go and do that site survey and come back, and they have that alien attached to him. So it was him that sent them over there. And I think his character, because he got that information from Ripley on LV-426, kind of like what you said, he was bringing her with as a consultant, but ultimately
really insurance. Yeah, exactly, right. It's just like, get rid of her, but then be the hero with
the corporation.
Guys, I got the next weapon. Yeah. We're gonna rule the world. Yeah. You know. Yeah. But no, that thing is like, it's like a plague. You shouldn't fuck around with it. Like, you should just burn it the moment you see it, because it's something that is going to go wrong immediately.
Yeah. No, it's
You know.
Aliens is my favorite, but there's a lot more depth to it. It doesn't start out slow. It gets right into it.
Right.
It's action.
Well, that's the James Cameron
Yeah.
touch to
Yeah.
it, I think. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I have no qualms with him actually directing that one. I think the Ridley Scott version before was great in its own way. And then like you said, it was the horror movie, and then it was just the Hollywood execs like, oh, let's make more money and make it an action movie.
Yeah.
But you got the right director, and it was worth it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
He's
the only thing I will
movie
say,
guy,
right? The only thing I'll say is that's fucking retarded are the counterbalance gun arms that they're fucking wearing.
Why?
Like,
Smart guns. The smart.
dude,
Is it
I
got
don't.
the arm on it because it helps hold the weight.
It's a right. It's a counterbalance. Yeah, it's just a ridiculous size gun. Like, I'm sure.
Yeah, you don't. Need
I mean, like, right. I mean, you fucking carried a 50.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I mean,
Yeah, but
the amount of ammunition and whatnot, and it like you don't want.
yeah,
You would, but you don't want.
I guess the like you don't take a 50 cal in that kind of like set.
No.
Like you don't like infiltrate with a 50 cal. 50 cal is more of a defense thing. So if you're holding a line up, you know what I mean. It's like, and it's going to be tripoded and all that too at that point.
Well,
but yeah, like to go into like a tight space with it, like
Yeah.
it would. That's probably not a good strategy
Well,
unless you got the fucking arms.
well, here's the thing. So it's a smart weapon. And again, I mean, we could get really into it, like all of it. But the idea is, so you see that they're wearing that little eye cup, like looks like a camera. You know.
Yeah.
The weapon like tracks, so like it kind of steers wherever you're kind of looking because it's a smart gun. So the arm
that's
actually
intense.
is helping correct and make you aim better.
Ah.
So it's again.
That's my only
way-
qualm with the movie.
Yeah, it's the action. You have to have something bad.
Right. You know, and that's the thing, like, even though I'm like calling this out, it's not that I think like it ruined the movie or anything. If anything, it made me enjoy it more because it's so fucking ridiculous. Yeah. But like, dude, a lot of these movies nowadays, like, they get so logical with the weapons, and it's like, where's the fucking art in like these movies? Like, is that what they like literally want to see how people fucking die? Like, like I liked it better when, you know, there was one dude and he takes out a whole fucking room of people and like you sit there like there's no way. But nowadays it's like, you know, they get more realistic, like because one guy can't take out a room full of people. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, they do. I mean, there are like fight scenes where one guy takes out like a shit ton of people. But I remember someone telling me, I don't even know what movie it was, some old 80s movie. A guy had a fucking Uzi, and there is like literally 100 people trying to kill him, and he takes them all out with one Uzi, one clip. Yeah. And it's just like how it was explained to me is the scene just kept going back to him just going firing at everybody, and then you just see people just like start fucking, you know, flailing to the ground and shit.
Yeah.
And like those were the greats when they made the ridiculous shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I mean, it was very entertaining. The writing was good, like the storyline. I think that's what made it kind of that's my favorite. And then Bill Paxton in there, like
said he died.
Yeah,
but
he had that comedic relief almost.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But
game over, man. Game over. Game over, man.
What are we gonna do now, man? We're gonna come in here.
It's game over.
Come in here and they're gonna kill us. They're gonna come in here and they're gonna kill us.
What was his name? Hudson?
Yeah, Hudson.
Hudson, get your shit together.
But
But no, like Michael Biehn played a good role in that.
yeah,
I felt. I just hate how like he wasn't for Aliens 3,
well,
and
yeah, but
that kind
but both him
yeah.
and Bill Paxton were both in James Cameron's Terminator, the first one,
Yeah, that's
because he
right.
was
Not a lot of people know about the Bill Paxton role in
yeah,
that.
he's short,
He was one of the
the punk guys in the
yeah, and
beginning.
right, yeah.
Is the shortest,
Small minor
yeah, the
role.
short role. So Bill Paxton
Well, that was
is the only
wasn't
or
it?
one of two people that's been killed by the Terminator, an alien, and a predator. Predator.
That sucks. I mean, that's cool. Actually, that's actually an
The
honor.
android guy in Aliens, he was in Terminator also.
Michael Fassbender
He was in
or Ian Holm.
no the robot in the second movie.
Oh, that guy. Never
Um,
mind. That I don't know who that. Hold on, I'll pull him up. I got IMDb up for that. He is Lance Hendrickson.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
Bishop.
Bishop. So he was in Terminator. He was one of the um, what do you call him? He was one of the cops that helped Sarah Connor because there's the black guy and him in the police department.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So then he's Bishop in this.
Oh, that makes sense now. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So he's the only other person that's been killed by all three of those because he's in Alien versus Predator, which was with a later movie, and he
But he
gets
doesn't
killed by
really
a
die
predator.
though.
Yeah,
I mean, he's a robot. Like she brought him back
yeah.
and got info from
I
him.
mean, he's dead.
I don't know.
Let's just call it what he died.
He's like semi dead.
All right, so then Bill Paxton then is the only one that killed. That's
Yeah.
technically killed, but good old Bill Paxton.
Fucking Bill. Big love.
Yeah.
Mormon.
Yeah.
He is the perfect Mormon actor, I'll tell you. But so wrapping up Aliens. So again at the end, we go back to the cryopods.
Yes.
Now there's a little girl involved, which now makes sense. She lost her daughter. She found out she lost her daughter. So now I'm able to make this connection. Didn't realize she had a
Makes
daughter,
sense
so
now, right?
right, why she wants to protect this little girl.
She's got that.
But man, so yeah, so they all go on the thing, and again they're supposed to be back at Earth. But now she crashes again in Aliens 3. And Michael Bihn's dead, and now the little girl is, so now it's time to move on and get into the next
Well, yeah,
story that I ended up
There
not
was
watching.
like a fire or something. Because remember, Paul Reiser's character was going to sabotage somebody's cryopods for the bride.
Oh.
So something happened where there was a fire, and the system's computer just ended up launching them to save them. And I guess
The fire went out.
an alien got onto her, and there was one like in the pod too, or something, and that it launched, and that's what landed in the prison.
So an alien got itself in a pod, and because of that fire, launched it out. Now that prison planet was infected,
Something.
or they all crashed on that same planet, though, right?
Yeah.
It's just the two were, or
They were all
some
on
were
the same,
ejected
no, they were all on the
first.
same pod. But
Yeah, or
I don't
ship,
remember
whatever.
The whole there's a whole story at the very beginning, but it has to do with Paul Reiser's character sabotaging it, and like I think
Oh, okay.
that robot guy actually brought aliens back onto the not Nostromo,
Oh,
Sulaco, which was the
because he
big
was, yeah, because he was stabbed and torn apart by him or whatever,
yeah.
and so something got into him.
No, I think he brought aliens back with him on the flying ship. 'Cause he was
Oh,
like researching.
oh,
them.
kind of like what Yeah, like
Yeah,
David and Walter or
yeah, kind of
whatever.
what Ash was programmed to do. Like, I think that's what
Yeah,
ended up happening. I'm not 100%. Again, these are all books, so that's where the problem is. They leave out a lot of
yeah.
details, so like unless you read the book, it doesn't really go along with it. So three was okay. Again, it kind of was. I don't know. It had more of the horror feel to it, but it was slow and kind of far fetched almost. You know, like,
Yeah.
oh, there's a prison of all men on the in this one spot, and they're all abstinent, and blah blah blah.
No, no, no. They're all doing gay shit. It just doesn't
Yeah, I
count.
guess not. If you say no homo, it doesn't
Because it's prison. If it was jail, they would be
count.
weak.
Yeah.
Whatever. Whatever.
Well, no, because that one guy has sex with Ripley.
That's different. She's like the one female that showed up on the
Yeah,
planet. I'm surprised she wasn't other pieces of
and that
meat
dude dies like instantly.
after
Yeah,
banging her.
he's like, oh, I'm gonna bang you.
Ah, my dick's falling
Yeah.
off. You got acid.
Although the one thing that was crazy in that, so like, I don't know if you saw the part, but where the alien comes through the ceiling and pulls a guy up into it. Oh man,
No, I stopped watching
you
it.
should try it. Like, it's
Yeah,
a
maybe I'll give it a
background, it's a
chance.
good background movie, but like, there's certain parts where you're like, oh shit, like, like they're like in this
Yeah,
cafeteria and they're having this meeting. They're like, what are we gonna do? Because they don't have guns and all this and that. And the alien just like
yeah.
comes out of the ceiling like while this one guy's talking and just snatches him and brings him up like super fast. And like everybody's like, "What the fuck?" What? They're like going and looking, and like the thing like tears them apart, so blood just like comes down through the ceiling, and then they have to like clean it up. And there's a guy like mopping, like looking up under, like trying to clean up the blood.
That's funny.
So three wasn't great, but
Resurrection. That's four, right?
Resurrection is for, eh, it's it's an entertaining movie, but it's so far off from anything else that
I just feel like they gave that director the keys and was like, you know, have
yeah,
at it.
like the ships they're all
And Ron,
weird.
yeah,
Having a cripple guy, like nobody wants a cripple on their crew.
no, that was weird. Now, did that movie come out right around the Matrix?
I don't know.
No, yeah. Hold on, Alien Resurrection, 97. Am I right? Why doesn't it say on IMDb? Yeah, 97. So I want to say like Matrix came out 98, 99. It like
99.
it kind of, not that it had like the Matrix vibe, but like the lighting
Yeah,
in it, that dark, that was kind of similar.
yeah,
But like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It just was for me. I liked it, but like at the same time, it was kind of like ridiculous with the all the outlaws that showed up and all that. You know, it was a weird story, but I don't know. It was cool. I mean, I thought it was a cool way to. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I just know it was interesting to see like the Ripley character be like this different type of person, like a different, like altogether.
yeah,
Wasn't the same person that we've seen in the previous movies. Now it's like this new character, but still with the same name and all that, but now it has like kind of a different role because she's technically like an alien.
yeah,
Like she's technically the xenomorph, but in a humanoid human
yeah. Because
body.
she's a clone, and part of the alien was
Yeah,
in her from Alien 3, so her DNA was kind of mixed with it.
right. Which probably doesn't make sense, but I get it.
I mean, yeah,
um, what I do know is Ron Perlman. I guess the director worked with them on some other stuff. So like them two were butsy butsy. So that's kind of the reason why he got this role. But I mean, Ron Perlman still did good for himself regardless. I think he worked on another film with this same director, this Jean Pierre Unet. But
Yeah, I don't know. That one definitely was not my favorite. I mean, this one and
no,
three were just,
who's that Mexican guy? That's like he always plays. Yeah, Raymond. Yeah, Raymond Cruz. He always plays like a gangbanger. He was in Breaking Bad and like Better Call Saul. He played that really psychopath cartel guy. Like he was just coked out all the time, and if you said something wrong, he'd like literally blow your fucking brains out right on the spot, and then be like, and then start laughing. Um, he starts like freaking out when he finds out Winona is an AI, and he's like, "Oh my god, you're one of those AIs that built themselves.
yeah,
Holy crap! I never thought I'd see one of those. Holy crap!" And he's just like going fucking
yeah.
nuts. And then she lets him die anyway. So, spoilers.
But yeah, if you haven't seen it since 1997, you know,
Yeah. Um, I forget how Resurrection
they get
ends.
to the
I think
ship, don't they? And then they get off.
Yeah, they always get to the ship.
But
But then they like it was kind of nice
no,
though.
they
So like they
crash the
end.
ship into Earth or something, don't they?
Oh right. Yeah, but I think they got out
Did
though
they?
too. So they might have. I forget.
Or
But
who knows?
regardless, though, I mean, there was kind of a good way to just end it with the whole Ripley thing.
Yeah,
Because I would probably say that the Ripley thing was just kind of dragging out. It like because like after James Cameron, in my mind, they were just giving directors like the keys and like, hey, see what you can do with
yeah.
this. You know, because Ripley, I don't know why they didn't, why Ripley was taken out of it. You know, beforehand, but yeah, I don't know.
You mean in?
Or not Ripley, Ridley.
Oh,
God, the names are so fucking similar. Ridley Scott. So I don't know why they took him away from directing after that first one. I mean, it seems like the first one did really well. But yeah, like Aliens 3, they gave it to this guy David Fincher. Then
maybe because they knew
Resurrection,
that
they
those
gave.
weren't going to be, you know,
Yeah, maybe just we just need to get something out there to make some money.
yeah.
You know, to keep this relevant. I don't know,
I mean, he probably
but
had other movies
yeah,
he was working on. I mean, Alien was what 79.
right. Yeah, I don't know what Ridley Scott what he ended up directing. I'll click on him real quick. I'll get a little. We'll see what a little highlight of what he's
He had
known
Blade
for.
Runner in '82.
Ooh, did he actually direct it, or was he just the producer? Producer,
On
uncredited.
Blade Runner.
Yeah, it shows producer. He produced The
No,
Martian.
it says Ridley Scott was the director of Blade Runner.
Really? I'm showing like on his profile, it shows he's a. Yeah, IMDb is wrong. Yeah, no, I see it now. Yeah, he did do Blade Runner. Interesting.
And Blade Runner 2049. Oh, he didn't direct it, but I'm pretty sure he was part of it.
He also directed Thelma and Louise. I actually never like seen that. I've seen parts of it, but I've never seen the whole movie. Um, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
to understand. Like I just know like I think they decide to become outlaws. Oh, he did The Martian too. So he did some other good movies.
He's had some terrible movies though too. Like Oh, so he did Gladiator.
Not
I
The
like
Martian
that.
with Matt Damon.
And did the Last Duel. Did you ever watch that? That was a
No.
terrible movie. That had Matt
It's probably why it's
Damon.
not showing up here.
Um,
Matt Damon.
Exodus, Gods and Kings. That was dumb. Robin Hood with what's his face. That was terrible.
Who, Costner?
No, the other guy. The guy from Gladiator. What's his nose? Fucking Russell Crowe.
Ye- Uh,
He was in Robin Hood. He did a Robin Hood.
Russell Crowe did Robin Hood?
Yeah, in 2010.
Oh,
And Ridley Scott did it.
wild.
Anyways,
But Ridley Scott made his comeback in 2012.
yeah, he did Prometheus, which
Yeah, and that's actually the first movie I saw out of this entire franchise.
mhm, which doesn't actually
Which
really have an alien until the very end of it.
right, I didn't know what I was getting into when I watched it. I just thought it was another space movie. I had no idea that these were related, and then at the end, all of a sudden, I started seeing the aliens, and I'm like, "What the fuck's going on here?" And then I realized, oh, this is part of the Aliens franchise. Like, I don't know what I was thinking. I was just like, did they just like fucking add the aliens in
Copyrighted.
this?
Yeah.
Yeah, like they just
It's
like
copyright infringement somehow.
right, yeah, and like it's like one of the best movies that came out. Um, yeah, no, I thought it was a good movie. Yeah, like it was slow, like trying to understand what they were getting to and all that, and
Yeah.
then eventually, once you saw the alien, you know. Now, if I saw the other movies, I probably would have caught on right away, seeing like everybody's in cryovats. There's this AI that's just kind of walking around,
Yeah.
and even like some of the scenes when they're like in the cargo bay are similar to the Alien movies, anyways. So
A lot of people that follow the Alien franchise don't like the last two because it doesn't really follow the books as well. I
yeah,
still think that they're good movies. I like Prometheus and Alien Covenant, but the whole what do you call them? Maker people.
yeah.
They're really not how it was portrayed.
Well, that's the whole point of Prometheus. They're trying to find the origins of mankind.
Yeah, the creators or whatever they call
Yeah,
them.
and then
No, the not mechanics. What do they call them? Now I can't think of it.
I don't know. It's actually been a while. I didn't watch Prometheus recently. It's been a little bit of time since I last watched it. I think yeah, they're the creators or the forefathers. I don't know,
Yeah, but
but
even
like
that Wayland, it's the Wayland Corporation. Peter Wayland is the guy in that in Prometheus. That's at the very end.
oh yeah, the guy that played in Iron Man. He played the
Yeah,
Mandarin.
yeah.
Yeah. Now in Covenant, I guess I don't remember that part, but in Covenant,
Guy
he
Pierce.
yeah he comes back in a clip, and it's like David having a flashback to his like original trainings or something with him.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah,
the guy's like naming him. He's like, "What is?" He's showing a picture or a statue to David with a huge dong, and he's like, "You're David. What's your name?" It's David. Um. Yeah, no, I thought Prometheus was good. I thought it was a good sci-fi movie. Like I said, at first I had no idea this had anything to do with the aliens when I first watched it. I thought it was going to be like something like Interstellar or something like that. I didn't know what the fuck I was getting into. And then like, yeah, dude, Michael Fassbender, he plays a incredibly creepy AI robot.
right.
Like hands down, yeah. Oh yeah, Idris Elba was in it. He was the black guy in charge of
Yeah,
everything. He's a
he's always a badass.
he is, dude. I love when that guy's in movies. He played in what's that movie with yeah, it's something Rim. Pacific
Pacific
Rim.
Rim, Pacific
Yeah.
Rim Job.
Yeah, he played in
Love that.
Pacific Rim Job. Yeah. It was he was badass in that too. And then he
And
played in
Suicide Squad,
yeah,
the
dude.
second one.
It was like the most badass role he had. I don't know where he's from though. He's got a or is he from America and he just has an awesome
No,
British
he's
accent?
British. He's
Oh.
British. You can't. You're not coming from America with a name like that.
What if he came from fucking New Zealand? How would you feel about that? You would hate him. You'd be like, fuck him. Fuck Idris.
I probably can't hate him then because of that's like a hate crime. If
Yeah.
he's black.
Now, the only thing that I missed was, or that I can't remember from Prometheus, so she gets off the planet then. Elizabeth Shaw.
Yeah, they take one of the ships
Yeah.
that's designed to go to each planet by the engineers. That's what they call
Oh, the engineers.
them. Yeah.
But she brings it back to like Earth, and then that's how Covenant starts then.
No, they don't go to Earth. They go to the planet where the engineers are.
Oh.
That's where Covenant is. They're
Oh, and they run into her down there?
so David takes her on one of the ships that they found on that planet.
Wait, Jared.
What?
Something happened. It stopped recording. I don't think it was recording.
At all?
What I didn't tell you, I did actually run a YouTube live, so I think I do have it. We had one viewer actually through that whole thing. I just ended it as this happened, but fuck, it's recording now.
YouTube live record?
Yeah, I believe it does. So I think we'll be all right. I just forgot where we left off.
We were talking about getting into Romulus, where
yeah.
so yeah, they took off from the planet.
So Alien Romulus is going to be the last establishment.
Yeah, we just we were finishing up Covenant.
Right.
But so yeah, Covenant. David took what's her Shaw from the planet that they crashed on in a ship of the engineers, and then flew that to where the engineers come from, and then David released their fucking own chemical warfare on them, and that's why there's all those like weird like ashed bodies for whatever reason. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then they got stuck on that planet, but then this other colonization place that with Danny McBride and all of them, they came, which that one was kind of freaky when that one dude that was like smoking a cigarette and he comes back and he's on like the medical bay and like those like fucking things come out of him and that thing explodes. Their little rover thing explodes.
Yeah.
So that was a weird fucking movie. But
yeah,
Romulus is coming up, and that's what, August, I think.
I think so. Yeah.
So we will see what that. But that one, Romulus is going to be weird because it's supposed to be between Alien and Aliens is the time frame.
And they don't show Shaw coming back, so they've already written that all out.
Yeah.
So I hope this one can hold up, but they once again gave another director the keys to take this in
Fede Alvarez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fede Alvarez.
Fede.
Looks like a loser.
Fede.
He's from Uruguay.
Uruguay?
No, Uruguay, the country.
You mean Uruguay?
Yeah. No, it's from Community. They're doing a UN thing, and Jeff Winger is the country of Uruguay, and Pierce every time he refers to it, he says Uruguay, and then like Winger's like, I would like to note for the record that I do not that the country that the nice nation of Uruguay would not appreciate being called Uruguay or something like that. Um,
Well, it looks like
but
this
yeah,
dude's directed quite a few movies that are decent. Evil Dead. He did the remake of Evil Dead. That was a good. Don't Breathe. So he's done a bunch of horror movies. Don't Breathe. Don't Breathe 2. Texas Chainsaw. This,
Don't Breathe. I thought that was a documentary.
no, that's I Can't Breathe.
That's terrible. We're terrible. We're terrible.
And
Terrible
then
people.
The Girl in the Spider's Web. I think that's the sequel to that Girl with the Dragon Tattoo movie.
Interesting.
So, I guess he's done a lot of dark movies, horror movies. So hopefully he does a good job with this.
Hopefully,
We'll have to see.
Dan O'Bannon's still on the roster, so
Yeah,
he's hopefully he'll write it pretty good.
do something.
We'll see. No, but I mean, overall, Aliens is a pretty good franchise.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's been used in pop culture for many years now.
Well, you found
So
that
many
out.
references. Yeah, right. Well, I mean, you know, like I guess I've never caught the references unless they actually show that fucking alien.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, Rick and Morty, you know, with the whole fucking Glory to Glorzo and all that
Yeah.
shit.
Your whole life
So,
is to suck on that person's face and shit an egg.
but like the thing about that is they weren't turning into xenomorphs or anything. They were just making more eggs.
Yeah. I mean,
So it was like,
they couldn't copy the exact.
no,
thing.
right. I know I did do some reading. They actually got some, they did pay some licensing to do some of that. Well, there was an episode they had the xenomorph in. So they had to pay for that. I don't know about this episode. I don't know if they got away with it. I'll tell you, when I saw that episode, I had just seen the Suicide Squad, so I thought it was that with the starfishes and all that shit. But it wasn't. It was Alien. So, yeah, I mean, I would say I think actually Alien is one of my favorites out of all the entire franchise. I just think that one's kind of an artwork. Um, like we were saying earlier, Space Odyssey 2001. I mean, like, kind of like definitely the same vibe and feel.
Yeah.
Just that eeriness the whole time, and then like nothing fucking happening, and then it all just happens at once.
Yeah.
And like I know they're horror movies, but for some reason there's something about everybody dying in this movie that like sets it. Like you don't get out alive.
Yeah.
You know. And even Ripley is technically didn't get out alive.
Yeah.
She's constantly dragged back into it. Like technically Aliens, she was almost scot-free.
Yeah.
But after Aliens, like her life was over.
Pretty much.
Which is sad.
Yeah.
It's very sad. So.
Yeah.
No,
Aliens is probably still my favorite because I just enjoy the action of it. But I do like Alien. Like I appreciate Alien for the movie that it is. I don't think it gets enough credit because it's just an old movie. Like people
right.
They kind of blow past it, but it's scary. Like when the alien, you don't even see it killing people, and it's scary. Like when that lady is trying to get that coolant with the black dude down in that thing, and they're like pulling those things out of it, trying to get those, and then it shows up, and you hear her getting killed over a microphone, and it's like scary.
Right.
Like you're like, I don't know. It's that
Not
what do you call it? Psychological scariness.
right.
So
Yeah, man, it's wild. It's fucking wild. So yeah, if you haven't seen Aliens, or any of the franchise, well, check it out
do it.
because I did. It was worth it. Probably the best week of my life watching these. No, no, they were good. Very entertaining and yeah, no, I mean, I'll say that definitely the first two had like a cinematic art to it. No, I mean, I did like Aliens too. I like the James Cameron aspect of it.
Yeah,
I only had the one qualm with the fucking arm
yeah,
gun, but other than that, it was, that was still a good storyline. But then after that, it just kind of, it was like, ugh, fuck,
yeah.
doing
Alien
this again,
3 was
we're
just,
doing this again.
I don't know.
Yeah,
The Alien 3 was just too boring. Like they didn't have guns. It was just a bunch of fucking
well, that's right.
dumbass
Yeah, they didn't have
British
guns.
inmates with a stupid accent running around with flares.
Yeah,
I don't know. We'll have to see how
I don't know,
Romulus
man.
does, but I've
Yeah,
got high hopes for Romulus. I feel it's going to be more of a horror. Not going to be so much the action, but more of the horror aspect of it. So
yeah. I mean, I would like to learn more about this corporation and all that stuff too. You know, so if they can do something like that, kind of, tie up some loose ends. But maybe, that's the thing too. Like with, Star Wars did it really well, like Boba Fett and shit, and like even Yoda, like very mysterious characters. You don't know a whole lot about them. Boba Fett, I mean, for those years, never talked. He said like one or two
yeah,
lines. Had like one of the least amount of lines in the entire franchise, or at that time, but was like the most popular character.
he was a bad.
Had no storyline, but everybody fucking loved him. And then Yoda's the same way. Yoda, in those first three that were put out back in the day, are, the Lucas trilogy.
Yeah,
Like Yoda was still a mysterious character. He lived on a fucking swamp. Like he taught Jedi things, but like there were no other Yodas. There was nobody else except all these evil creatures and
I
stuff.
mean he's still mysterious to this day.
He is. I mean, he's gotten a little bit of a backstory, but it's still like just it's only within the movies, like what you're seeing at that time.
I mean his
So like you
species doesn't
find
even
out,
have a name.
right, his species doesn't have a name. There's no like rhyme or reason of where he's from.
Mhm.
They don't have a planet, and to date, we only know of two others, and that's Yaddle and then Grogu. And so hopefully the what do you call it? Not Andor, but Ahsoka Tano. Hopefully that continues, and
Yeah, they have a season 2 of that, and then the acolyte might help too. 'Cause, I mean, that's
yeah.
and they're supposed to have some type of, you know,
But who knows? I mean, what Dave Filoni's so up on that, he might keep Yoda, mysterious just for the respect of
keep
Lucas.
the
And
lore going.
yeah, I mean, it could change the world if you find out exactly everything about Yoda. It might make his character not even seem that great. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like he was just like a
Oh, he's just
frog that got dropped and
he's just a space
yeah,
frog.
just a space,
What? It's not a big deal.
yeah, space frog man.
Oh wow. Well, that's today's episode, everybody. Yeah, no, thanks for joining in. If you're on the YouTube live, appreciate it. Wish you would have said something in the chat, but whatever, that's your deal. But for everybody else, first time subscriber, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Long time subscribers, thanks for the support. Remember, there's www.tellitrightpodcast.com. We got pictures. We got some content up there. And then leave us some comments. We'll get to them. But other than that, everybody, have a great day. Peace.
Tell It Right Podcast.